The maple trees on the Holleran family property are producing sap for maple syrup. 3 generations of the family have used this tract for syrup production since the 1950s.
Keep it open and keep the trees growing well, because forestry is definitely a huge part of producing maple syrup. You want your trees to be healthy and well taken care of.
But this stand of maples may soon be cut down in order to make way for a 50-foot easement and work area for the Constitution pipeline. The Holleran family refused to sell the land, which is along the pipeline route. The Hollerans say the company wouldn't change the route around the trees. The company used eminent domain to gain access. Survey stakes mark the border of the pipeline path through the trees.
And to us, there isn't proper compensation for this. There's no way we can replace what they're, no matter how much money, there's no way we can replace what they're taking. So fair compensation is a term that's being used a lot here, and it's a really hard word for us to deal with, because there isn't any fair compensation for this.
They think they've offered us just compensation, but when they did their appraisal determining the value of the property, they weren't allowed on. We didn't give them permission, so they just kind of did the appraisal from the road. So they really don't have any idea what is involved in the woods or anything down by our lake. So the appraisal, we feel, is not anywhere near accurate. So we have to obtain our own.
5 of the 23 acres will be cut down. The family says the results will be disastrous.
Although they're not clearing all of the trees, they're coming pretty close. And the pipeline that's proposed to follow it and co-locate in the same corner, the Northeast Energy Direct, is proposed to take out all the rest of the trees. So they won't leave us with anything, with much left that's usable for tapping, and they certainly won't leave us with anything that would be efficient for us to come over and put the large amount of time and effort and money it takes to tap the trees. They're not going to leave us with enough to even hardly make it worth that. In effect, the Constitution is wiping out our maple production on this property.
Kathy Holleran says the project will also devalue other parts of the family property.
It's going through 3 different places where you could potentially have a home site. And we have children and grandchildren that someday this land will be left to. They could build there, not anymore.
There are also emotional ties to the land.
It's going to be pretty heartbreaking to watch them coming through and cutting these trees, especially the ones especially for the part that they say is their additional workspace that they only need temporarily, and they're still cutting all the trees and we lose them. Whether you're going to need that space, a couple weeks down the road or half a year down the road, it's still cleared.
Absolutely. I grew up here. I live just down the road. This is my family's property. My grandparents bought this property in the 50s. My mother and her 4 siblings were raised here. I've spent, my whole life here. Not just to use the trees commercially. It's not even all about that. It's this is our home, and this is a place that we've always been able to enjoy for recreation, for now for the business, for anything, and that I had hoped to be able to enjoy in the future, even to the extent of possibly building my own home here. We've got 27 acres. We've got 5 big fields. We thought we'd be able to come out, and myself or my brothers or any of my bunch of cousins, that one of us could come and make a home here as well. And the route of the pipeline is going to prevent that from even ever being a viable option.
In the end, the tree cutting and other work may not be necessary. The Hollerans say New York has not given the environmental approvals for the pipeline work in that state.